Have you ever felt like someone was speaking directly to your heart, calling you back when you were drifting away? That's exactly what happened in the final book of the Old Testament. God had one last message before 400 years of silence, and it came through a prophet named Malachi. After years of exile in Babylon, the Israelites had finally returned home to Jerusalem. They rebuilt the temple. They restarted their worship. But over time, something had changed, not on the outside, but in their hearts. God sent Malachi, whose name means "my messenger," to speak a word not just to the people, but to their hearts. Through Malachi, God said, "I have loved you." But the people replied, "How have you loved us?" That response showed something deep. They had forgotten God's faithfulness. So God reminded them He had chosen them, protected them, brought them back from exile, but they were drifting again. The priests, those meant to lead in worship, were offering blind and crippled animals as sacrifices. God asked, "Would you give that to your governor? Then why bring it to me?" He wasn't angry because of ritual mistakes. He was grieved because they were giving Him leftovers instead of their best. The people also stopped giving their tithes. God challenged them, "Return to me, and I will return to you." And when they asked, "How?" He answered, "Bring the full tithe into the storehouse." It wasn't just about money. It was about trust, about remembering that everything they had came from God. Even in marriage, they had broken promises. Husbands were divorcing their wives, and others were marrying people who didn't honor God. Malachi spoke clearly. God hates divorce, not because He hates people, but because He loves faithfulness, and when promises are broken, hearts are broken too. Some of the people were saying, "What's the point of following God? The wicked seem to be doing fine." But God saw the difference. He said, "A scroll of remembrance was written for those who feared the Lord and honored His name." To them, God said, "They will be mine, my treasured possession." And then came a powerful promise. One day, God said, "I will send my messenger, and he will prepare the way before me." This was a prophecy pointing to John the Baptist, and ultimately, to Jesus the Savior, who would come 400 years later. Malachi's message still speaks today. When we drift from God, when our worship becomes empty, our hearts cold, or our trust weak, He doesn't turn away. He calls us gently, "Return to me, and I will return to you." He wants our hearts, not just our habits. He wants honesty, not just offerings. And He promises that even when the world seems unfair, He remembers those who fear Him and live with honor. Malachi was the final voice before a long silence. But it wasn't the end. It was a promise that God would come. And He did, through Jesus. So today, if you hear that gentle voice calling you back, don't wait. Return to Him. Thanks for watching this episode of Bible Stories. If this message encouraged you, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, God is always ready to welcome us back. See you next time.